sway bar was set correctly. He's starting near the tail of the field.
Field stacked up, ready to go. Pull the belts tight. 100 laps of action for the Tour Type Modifieds, their final race of the World Series in 2026. Goodale on the inside, Battle on the outside. Championship is a tight one. Green flag is out at New Smyrna Speedway for the Richie Evans Memorial 100.
Side-by-side battle between the two Jeffreys up on the front row. Battle going to try to stick the nose of the 19 car slightly out front, but Goodale, looked like there might have been a little contact there. The Goodale car broke loose down the middle of the straightaway.
Trevor Catalano running in the third spot. He was extremely good for a big portion of last night's race before he faded a little bit late in the going. He looks high, drops low, turn 2 for the number 2 spot. Nice crossover move for Trevor Catalano in the 56 to the inside.
Trevor was really strong here last night before a late race spin kind of sent him back into the field. That 56 car potentially looking even stronger here tonight. He's trying to stick the nose to the inside of Jeffrey. Battle down the backstretch. Catalano will drive into the lead down into turn 3.
Catalano wasting no time getting out front in his number 56, the Ontario, New York driver. 2 runs of 9th place this week, his best runs, but had a car that was much better than that before the spin last night. The car faded a little bit over the last 20 laps tonight. Long run, long race. Going to have a good car on the long runs tonight.
Look at Jimmy Blewett there in the number 2. That's the J.R. Bertuccio number 2. That car looking really strong here in the early going. He would like to pick up another Richie Evans Memorial 100 victory, and he's got young James Blewett trying to stick it maybe 3 wide. No, James backed it out. Again, a savvy move by that young man in that red, white, and blue number 76 car, but he is aggressively strong here in the early going.
James Blewett, the 17-year-old from New Jersey, his best World Series run as a Tour Type Modified racer. Ran the 602 the last year or two here at the World Series, up into the Tour Type Modifieds this year. Finished 4th last night, and he's made the move on Battle. He's been able to clear him for the number 3 position. He now sets his sights on Dad right there in front of him. Jimmy Blewett in second, James Blewett in third. We watched just a little behind them. Cam McDermott running the inside lane.
Adam, I spent most of the day over at Daytona International Speedway. They were doing Thunderbirds practice for the flyover, and I don't think anything could be closer than the formation they were in earlier today. Those modified drivers back there in tight flying formation, second on back. And look at that guy in the number 20, the 14-year-old hot shoe. Paulie Hartwig the third, patiently working his way through the field. He's already picked up a handful of positions in the number 20 on his march to the front.
Yeah, he started 9th position, drew the invert of 9, which was just 1 away from being the biggest invert. Didn't seem too concerned, though. He's got a fast race car. We know he can get to the front.
Yes, he was not concerned 1 iota, honestly, guys. He said, listen, we set fast time, got unlucky, and picked the 9 invert. He said, but I'm going to pace myself. I know I don't have to race through this field. So Paulie Hartwig, a little contact with Jeff Goodale there. But Paulie Hartwig, this is the 3rd car that he's used this week. His own family cars have not run too well. They've actually had mechanical problems, but this Jerry Gradle-owned machine has been ultra quick. Remember, he opened the week for Tour Type Modified racing in this race car in Victory Lane.
It was so good over the first couple of nights. Finished 5th the other race. In the second event, he ran the Gradle machine. He's inside the top 5 now. Cam McDermott in front of him. Solomito in the 66 making a move a little further back in the field, was on the inside of Jeffrey Battle. Battle started on the front row but has faded. He was 8th quick in qualifying, but a little bit off here in the early stages of this race. We see one of our point contenders, Andrew Kraus, racing there as well. He's in the 12th position. Kraus started this race in 16th. And to credit Kraus, he's methodical in his approach. He avoids the problems that are had, and he comes through the field each and every night this week. He's been a model of consistency.
He hasn't qualified all that great this week, and he even acknowledged that with Bob prior to the race. But he has really done a nice job keeping that car out of trouble, working its way to the front of the field. and he is keeping Ronnie Williams, his closest championship contender, in sight, just a couple of cars ahead. Bob, what do you got on Andrew Krause?
Well, Andrew Krause has told me, admittedly, he struggled this week. They tried some things that they attempted to do a couple of years ago down here, and they just didn't work. Well, they worked, and this car has been quick during the race, but honestly, in qualifying, he said it's so much of an adjustment with this new setup for him that he's taken a while to get used to it. But he keeps on getting better every night. We'll see if Andrew Krause can honestly pull off the upset against that number 50 car, Ronnie Williams, that's trying to follow Patrick Emmerling in the number 1 through the field.
Emmerling kind of faded back there at the start of the race. Patrick Emmerling now finds himself in 7th. He's rallying. Ronnie Williams coming along with him. Tim Solomito right behind them in the 10th position. A lot of shuffling going on here early. Drivers trying to settle in, kind of determining how hard to go at it this early in the race. But we've been green for 17 laps. Going to be 18 the next time at the line. Earlier, we talked about NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour champion in 2025, Austin Beers, and his steering problem. He's only been able to pick up a few spots at the back of the field, currently running 16th.
Meanwhile, towards the front end of the field, there's Patrick Emmerling working inside of Jeffrey Goodale in the number 46. Jeffrey picking up a free set of Hoosier tires down there in pre-race ceremonies. We were jokingly commenting to one another, he may have to save those to next year. This is his final scheduled race of 2026, but Jeffrey's had a pretty good speed weeks down here throughout the World Series. That 46 car has been up near the front of the field, and I'm really impressed right now with Ronnie Williams in that 50 car. He's keeping Patrick Emmerling in sight, and you know, you have to wonder what Ronnie's got to do to get that monkey off of his back. He has been so close to victory so many times, literally was 2 corners away from going to victory lane here last night when he and Emmerling got into it, and the 50 car went way up the racetrack. Sounded like in pre-race Ronnie Williams already in the zone even prior to pre-race activities down there, and he is doing everything he needs to do right now to pick up this World Series championship.
So we saw Hartwig, the top qualifier, go from 9th up to 5th early. He was going forward in the early laps. Williams and Emmerling kind of paced themselves back just outside of the top 10 early on after losing a couple of positions. Now they are turning up the wick a little bit. They've moved back up into the top 5. Emmerling running 5th. Williams now running 6th as they follow one another. Williams, to win the championship, can finish within 2 spots of Emmerling as long as he's ahead of Krause. But you know he's going for this 100-lap win. Williams has been so close. Maybe the closest last night as they work around Rich Parker. Williams has been so fast in qualifying over the years. And tonight, Williams' second quick in qualifying, just missed fast time that was set by Hartwig.
And Hartwig, who started 9th, had raced his way up into 5th, has now dropped all the way back to 10th. And I don't know if that is by design or if there be maybe a problem on that number 20 car, but Paulie Hartwig looking really strong early as Cam McDermott looking strong right there with a power move to the inside of James Blewett. This is a really good battle here for 3rd and 4th, I should say.
McDermott qualified inside the top 5. He's been pretty fast this week, looking for a great run tonight here in the Evans. Has run just 2 of the races, finished 9th on Monday, 5th last night, and McDermott heading forward right now. Behind him, here comes Patrick Emmerling, 2-time winner this week. Last year's World Series champion Patrick Emmerling on the inside lane, racing with James Blewett, 4th place up for grabs.
Emmerling is one of those guys that is like sneaky good. He doesn't really overextend that race car throughout the course of an event, but when it gets right down to it, he is as aggressive as anybody could be, and he showed that aggression last night as he went to victory lane after a tire-knocking battle there with Ronnie Williams. Bob, what do you got?
Well, you guys were wondering about Paulie Hartwig III, and he's honestly just pacing himself right now, and I think there's some gamesmanship going on pit road. Remember, these guys have some tires, they can swap it. They will have a competition caution if we have 50 consecutive green flag laps, and I think some teams are thinking about whether they actually want to come in and take those tires at all or when to do so. So Paulie and even Austin Beers, who you just talked about just a little while ago, are saying they're just conserving themselves right now, trying not to wear out that rubber.
Yeah, you can tell Amy is running back there. Amy Catalano, as well as the 179 of Austin Beers, both just kind of riding around at the back of the field in their rides, saving tires, not even attempting to pass. Here's a battle again. Patrick Emmerling on the inside of James Blewett, 4th place. In contention right now is Emmerling. He's moved up to the 4th spot. Williams will try to follow him. Williams seems pretty content right now at this stage of the race to go the same pace as the one of Emmerling. It's probably a pretty good pace to run.
Emmerling's not going to overextend that race car this early in the race. And if Ronnie Williams' car is working as well as it did last night, he's not going to overextend just by matching what Patrick Emmerling is doing. And I have to wonder, as Bob continued to wander down on pit road, particularly with Paulie Hartwig III, we've got a caution coming up here potentially if we don't have one before then at lap 50. Why overextend that race car before then? Why burn those tires off if you don't have to? You know you're going to get a caution flag at least at lap 50, if not before. I think that's a really smart move by Paulie Hartwig III. Another wise beyond his years moment for this young man who has really kind of put the exclamation point on his name here at the World Series in 2026.
Hartwig right now running in the 10th position. The only thing you have to wonder, though, is if you have Emmerling and Williams at the front of the field, then you're going to have to at some point really drive hard to rally to get back up there to them. So it's picking your poison, I guess. Here comes Kraus. Again, tied for the point lead coming in. Kraus to the inside of Blewett. Andrew Kraus from row number 8 into the 8th position at the line. So he is going in the right direction.
Kraus looking to keep himself in championship contention. He needs to get up there and track down Ronnie Williams. Williams 4 positions ahead on the racetrack right now, and Kraus needs to keep him in sight if he has any hopes of claiming that World Series championship crown as the field streams down the backstretch. That's how far back Paulie Hartwig III has dropped. Almost a third of a lap behind that guy up at the front of the field. Well, that's not the leader right there, but that's yeah, it is the leader, Trevor Catalano in the 56 car. Yeah, eventually I'll get it right, Adam. Eventually.
Well, you know, Trevor raced out front early, and he's been all by himself. We haven't seen him in a while. Much like last night, he's really good early in this race. Here's Hartwig picking up a spot after dropping back to 10th. He's moved up to 9th now, so maybe he'll turn up the wick a little bit. We are closing on that halfway mark. We have had no yellow flags over the first 38 laps of this race. 12 more laps. If we don't have a yellow before then, we will see a competition yellow at the conclusion of lap number 50. But Hartwig, after running up into the top 5, is now back to 10th, now to 9th as he starts to make his trek forward again. You know, the one thing I like about that 20 car, first of all, it's a very aggressive looking race car in and of itself, but he is keeping that car pointed really straight coming off of these corners. He's not thrashing around. He's not sliding those tires. He's not thrashing on the wheel. He is looking exactly how you would like that car to look 40 laps into a green flag run. Bob, what do you got down on pit road?
Well, a lot of people just wondering if we're going to get to this lap 50 mark for that competition caution, and a lot of discussion. Everybody's saving stuff right now. And Dale Hedquist is the crew chief for Patrick Emmerling, and he reminded me, hey, everybody went 100 laps because he went clean and green last year in this race, but this competition caution kind of throws a loophole into it. I asked him, would you be willing to stay out? He said, I don't think we're going to stay out, but he expects maybe a car or two to actually stay out and actually not take rubber. That'll be interesting as we got a new leader in this race.
Jimmy Blewett has taken over the race lead. Catalano has dropped to 2nd, much like last night around the lap 40 mark, lap 50 mark. Catalano's car dropping off the pace a little bit, losing some speed. It's been a good one over the first almost half of this race, and now here's Williams. Remember last night, Williams' car on the long run, I think it was better toward the end of the race than the one of Emmerling. He was putting ground on him before the late race caution, and then anything, of course, happens on restarts.
And I think if Ronnie Williams could get up there and work his way past Patrick Emmerling, he would take that opportunity right now. What better time to do it now than later? Because if you have to try to get past Emmerling with 10 to go, it's not going to be an easy task. And right now, Emmerling kind of jammed up behind Trevor Catalano there. Catalano giving up a couple of positions on the racetrack Jimmy Blewett in that number 2 has slipped on past to take the lead. Cam McDermott followed him through, and Emmerling going to try to follow through and take over third.
Catalano backpedaling a little bit, running in third, but not for long. He may follow out of the top 5, maybe out of the top 6. They're lining up behind and beside Catalano. Williams gets around him. He's got the front rotors glowing on the 50. He's been following closely the 1 car of Patrick Emmerling in that championship battle. Andrew Kraus is not out of it yet. He's running in the 8th position, making his moves forward, just a couple of laps away from the halfway mark and the potential competition yellow. There is Catalano running currently in 5th. Goodale is there.
Goodale's had a good week. These two have gone to battle a couple of different times throughout the course of the week. Right now, Trevor Catalano holding on to a top 5 position.
Side by side, here comes the 46 of Goodale. Faded back a little bit early on, was the pole sitter in this race. But Goodale's got a good race car here toward the middle stage, 49 laps in.
Should see the competition caution coming out here any moment once leader Jimmy Blewett completes the 50th circuit. Ralph Miller showing the field the crossed flags this time around. Look at Austin Beers now looking to the inside of Timmy Solomito. Solomito making a nice recovery after getting up into the outside wall a couple of nights ago. That beautiful blue and pink number 66.
Yeah, Solomito did not race last night, finished 9th a couple of nights ago. Yellow flag is waving. It is competition yellow time. Beers waited till about lap 40 or so, maybe lap 35, and then he quit saving his tires, started racing toward the front, and he's up into the 7th position. So he throws another driver into contention. It's the 179 of Austin Beers. He won a race here at the World Series a year ago. He, of course, was the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour champion, youngest Tour champion in its history in 2025. Had a good start last Saturday, finished 3rd. And he's finished 3rd in the 2 races since then. I think we're going to see quite a few pit stops. If they knew there was going to be another yellow in maybe 20 laps, I think they would wait till then. But with the way this race is going, the outside lane, he'll control the pace into the restart zone in turn 4. Let's see if they can continue to have a steady pace over there. It's a slow pace, but much better this time. He hits the gas. He goes. McDermott, the wiggle, lost traction with the rear tires.
I'll tell you what, talk about cat and mouse games right there. I think Blewett in that number 2 car played that one perfectly. He kind of rolled into the zone there and just punched it as soon as he was a car length into it. McDermott did not expect it at all. He's going to give up a position there to Emmerling. Emmerling now, that car also had a great restart. He is right there with Jimmy Blewett down the backstretch.
Williams has followed him all the way through the field when they were running around 10th. Now Williams tries to make the move on McDermott. Has a good run through 3 and 4. Looks like he'll have the run, be able to get by him. His car has been just as good as Emmerling in this race as he's followed him position by position, now up into podium spots. 2nd and 3rd where Emmerling and Williams hold down the fort. Williams, of course, tied for the championship point lead. And if he finishes within 1 spot of Emmerling in this, he'll claim the championship. We're watching Kraus as well. Kraus trying to get up there and contend with them, running in 10th.
Austin Beers in the 179 has worked his way from the back of the field. Reigning NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour champion, looking really stout now after steering issues sent him to the back of the field for the initial start. That 179 looking really good. He's hugging that yellow line down in turns 1 and 2, Adam.
Williams to the inside of Emmerling. Last night, the battle between these two was furious over the last few laps. Contact was made. Blocking was taking place. They held no punches last night. They went after each other strong on the final laps of that race. Emmerling claimed the win, his 2nd in a row this week. McDermott nearly stuck his nose inside. And Ronnie Williams, look back at lap number 56. That could be a really big pass right there for Williams.
Williams stretching the advantage up, pulling away a little bit down the back straightaway. That car has always gotten through the corners really well, but more impressively than that, it is handled down the straightaway as well. Ronnie Williams looking like he's going to have something for Jimmy Blewett here in just a matter of moments.
Austin Beers makes the move up into the 6th position. Beers takes 6th away. Goodale gets back down the track, closes the door on Solomito. Paulie Hartwig doing a nice job following Beers through the field. So Hartwig, despite maybe a little bit of a vibration in the steering, Hartwig has moved his way back up to 7th. So having a nice run after the pit stop. 41 laps to go. Jimmy Blewett leads, having a nice run tonight. Has had some bad luck this week. He's been fast at times. Fell out of last night's race early. Ronnie Williams running in 2nd. Emmerling running 3rd.
Adam, the guys at the front of the field are turning some incredibly fast laps right now. Jimmy Blewett on lap 59 and now on lap 60, setting his fastest laps of the race. Ronnie Williams on lap 57 set his fastest lap. Ronnie Williams right now the only driver to turn a lap in the 17-second bracket, but Jimmy Blewett almost did it that time around. 18.049. Lap 61 on the board for Jimmy Blewett. So both of those cars really strong after that competition break. We're now inside of 40 to go. Blewett continuing to lead, but here comes Ronnie Williams dipping to the inside into turn 1. Give the lead to Ronnie Williams in the black number 50.
Blewett crosses over, coming out at 2. Will try to make the run back into the inside for the lead, but Williams' car very strong. In fact, up into the 3rd lane. We've seen him try this lane out this week, and it pays off tonight. Holds off the 2 of Blewett through turns 3 and 4. Williams' car so strong a night ago on long runs, and it looks like he's got a great piece tonight, Bob.
We've seen Ronnie Williams in this position a couple of times this week, but he has not been able to pull into victory lane, and that is his sole focus here today. Trust me, as I spoke to him on that qualifying grid earlier today, he said, if we don't win this Speed Weeks, this World Series will be a disappointment. He believes in all his years of coming down here that this is his best shot tonight. This is the best car that he's ever had. And right now with 35 to go, he's up front and hoping to hold on for World Series career win number 1.
Ronnie Williams, year in and year out over the last several seasons, has been fast in qualifying, fast in short runs. Never was there really at the end contending for the wins. Had several top 5s in as many starts, but this week has been good on short runs and long runs. As we watch Catalano in the 56 running in 5th, Hartwig running in 6th. The youngsters had a nice run here after the halfway break, and the 20 of Hartwig trying to get back up in the top 5.
Don't know that Hartwig has the car that's going to carry him up there and knock Ronnie Williams off the top of the leaderboard, but the 20 car is kind of coming to life here in the second half of this 100-lap Richie Evans Memorial. He's able to keep that car way down on the bottom side of the racetrack too. Did you see him dipping those left side tires down onto pit road entrance right there to help that machine get turned off the final corner?
Kind of a big wiggle down in turn 1, cost him a car length or 2. He recovered nicely, so he had a great run off of 2. As Hartwig has closed again to the rear of the 56 of Catalano, who has been good on short runs the last couple of nights. Just not the longer runs, and right now he's got a decent car running in 5th, maybe not enough to hold off the 20 of Hartwig, again closing quickly in 3 and 4.
You know, Paulie Hartwig, one of those drivers that is so focused on what he is doing in life. All he wants to do is be a race car driver. Bob told me earlier this week he has no idea what the Olympics even are. He has no idea at all. Bob, you can add on both Trevor Catalano and Paulie Hartwig.
Absolutely. Right now, it's a handful for Trevor Catalano as Paulie Hartwig goes to the inside. He's going to be able to dispose of that 56 really quickly. But for Catalano, that car is on a razor's edge. They made a chassis adjustment to that race car in the pit stop. It has not worked out. They thought they might suffer on the short run to be better on the long run, but he does not like that race car. It's evil right now. For Paulie Hartwig, the 3rd, that car still has that steering vibration, but Paul Hartwig is telling them just go for it. Let's see what we can get out of this car here tonight. So some of the younger kids in this field looking good, but not able to shine brightly. Look at the 179 of Austin Beers. You guys have documented about how he spun in qualifying, steering issues, but he's having a nice run here this evening.
decent run, but I think once he got up into 6th or 7th, it kind of stagnated. I don't think he has anything for the top 5. 26 to go. I think if he had something, he would be challenging a little quicker. Not much time left in this one. These laps flying by quickly with lap times around 18 seconds. Here's Emmerling. Has closed on the 2 of Blewett. Second place is the battle.
Everybody in the top 5 turning laps in the 18.2 second bracket. These cars, at least at this point in the race, all pretty well evenly matched. Right now, the difference is Ronnie Williams has pulled off to a 1.4 second lead. Very similar to what he did here last night.
Blewett having a solid run in the 2, but no one having anything at least through 76 laps. And at this stage of the race for Ronnie Williams, running in the 18.1s that time at the line. Fastest lap on the track once again. Ronnie Williams pulling away. 1.5 second lead last time by.
23 laps remaining, still a quarter of the race yet to go here in the finale for the Tour Type Modifieds here in 2026. This division has put on some of the most thrilling races of the year this season in the World Series, including last night's bumper banging finish between Patrick Emmerling and race leader Ronnie Williams. Emmerling wants to get past Jimmy Blewett here. He needs to dispatch this race car pretty quick if he has any hopes of tracking Williams down under green flag conditions.
Makes a nice move down in turn 1 and 2, and he takes the second spot away. Patrick Emmerling looking for his 3rd win in a row this week. He's been very good the last 2 World Series, but a second place would keep him out of a championship title here in 26, because Ronnie Williams in this championship update would win the championship by 8 points over Emmerling, and even more over Andrew Kraus, who has fallen now outside of the top 10. Kraus running 11th.
What did I say about Paulie Hartwig not having a car that could race his way up to the front? Wow, he is going to prove me wrong. He has caught Cam McDermott. He has caught Jimmy Blewett. He is putting some pressure on from the back of the top 5. These 2 cars next to be picked off by the talented 14-year-old in that red, or excuse me, that orange, number 20.
Yeah, Hartwig is strong enough at least to dispose of these 2 cars. Not sure if he has anything for the 1. Might have something for him if he got the help of a yellow flag to stack up the field. But this race has been very clean. We had the controlled yellow at lap 50 because we didn't have a yellow in those first 50 laps. We've had nothing since. And right now, the 20 of Hartwig running in the 5th spot, ready to make the move on Cam McDermott.
McDermott in that white number 8, 3rd, sitting in 4th, excuse me, 4th on the racetrack. But in this group of 3 race cars, he's got Jimmy Blewett there in the number 2 in front. He's got Paulie Hartwig the 3rd knocking on the back door. So he's trying to play a little offense with Blewett in the 2, but he's also got to play defense with Hartwig there in the 70, or excuse me, the number 20 tonight. Hartwig still trying to track these 2 down. He is running out of laps here if he thinks he's going to have anything to race into a podium position.
Well, Patrick Emmerling has taken over 2nd place, but that has not changed as far as getting closer to the leader, Ronnie Williams. When Emmerling was running 3rd, Blewett was about 1.5 seconds behind the leader. Emmerling now is 2.6 seconds behind the leader. Williams continues to pull away at the front of the field, turning outstanding laps.
Very consistent laps, still in the 18.3 second bracket right now. So the tires getting a little warmer, giving up a little grip on a very cool night here at New Smyrna Speedway. But Williams still being very consistent. You see the shot right there that Paulie Hartwig the 3rd delivered to the back bumper of Cam McDermott. Patience level about to run out with Paulie Hartwig.
There is Hartwig looking to the outside, dropping back across the bottom, following closely the 8 car of Cam McDermott. Hartwig winning the 602 Modified Championship. What a great week he had in the 602s. 4 races. Their season for the World Series ended last night. They're closing on the number 2 of Jimmy Blewett running in the 3rd position. It's Blewett, McDermott, Hartwig 3rd through 5th. We're coming back around to 10 laps to go for Ronnie Williams in the 50.
Blewett able to hold McDermott at bay. He's been pretty strong in that Bertuccio number 2, but there is a look at Ronnie Williams pulling away from last night's winner Patrick Emmerling. Bob, what do you got on Ronnie Williams?
Something to consider for Ronnie Williams. Man, he has set sail. I just spoke to his crew chief and I said, was that the game plan? Get the lead and go and put distance in between you and whomever is in second place? They said, yes, we were going to go for it. We're going to burn it up and try to get that big gap. But I said, what if there's a caution late in the race? And his team told me it is what it is. They knew Patrick Emmerling would get to second. They're hoping for no cautions with 8 laps to go.
I'm not sure that Emmerling has anything for him, even if we get a yellow. But again, restarts, anything can happen. Last night, Williams was better than Emmerling late in the race, but the restarts gave Emmerling the chance and ended up picking up the victory because of it. Williams leading now by over 3 seconds, continues to lay laps down in the 18 3s and 4s. That time very close to the same lap with Patrick Emmerling. 6 laps remain. He's not only looking for his first win at the World Series at New Smyrna Speedway, he's looking for his first championship. He could claim them both on the same night. Richie Evans Memorial 100.
What a big night to claim that first victory and to lock up that first ever World Series championship. And he is just 5 circuits away. There's a look at the battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Not much of a battle right now. That Bertuccio number 2 car has been really strong this week with Jimmy Blewett behind the wheel. And he has been able to keep Cam McDermott at bay. And right now, Paulie Hartwig, I think he is maxed out on where he was going to get through the field here tonight. Worked his way up to 5th, dropped back to 10th, worked his way back up to 5th one more time. I think he's just going to run out of laps in that number 20.
Yeah, I thought they were going to stack up and kind of battle it out for 3rd through 5th. Blewett had a 7th place run last night. It was 2 nights ago that he fell out early in the John Blewett III Memorial. And right now, 3rd place run pretty good for Blewett, a 2-time winner of this Richie Evans Memorial, the only driver in this field to have won the Richie Evans race in the past. Veteran driver's been coming to the World Series for a long time and having a pretty good go of it here tonight in the car that we're used to seeing J.R. Bertuccio behind the wheel for many years. It's the final 2 laps. Final 2 paces for Ronnie Williams, his lead at 3.3 seconds.
Ronnie Williams working his way through turns 3 and 4. Ralph Miller displaying the white flag final time around for this driver who was so close to victory last night. Can he get it done here tonight?
He's made many World Series starts over the last several seasons. He's made 6 starts in the Richie Evans Memorial. His best finish was 8. That was before tonight. Ronnie Williams wins the Richie Evans 100, taking 2nd Patrick Emmerling. Jimmy Blewett will race 3rd. Cam McDermott, Paulie Hartwig rounding out the top 5. Ronnie Williams, what a dominant effort and a well-deserved win. He was on his way to 1 last night. He's been so fast in the past, but now they've got this car not only fast on short runs, they have it absolutely hooked up on long runs. The car not giving up as much speed as the rest, and his win over 3.5 seconds at the front of the field. He claims the World Series 2026 championship. And this week, in this trip from Connecticut to Florida, definitely worthwhile for Ronnie Williams.
Yeah, I cannot wait to hear what he has to say about his World Series championship, his first ever trip to World Series victory lane. He was very focused prior to going to green. Did not have a lot of words at all to say to Bob down there. Very, very calm, very focused, and I have a feeling we're going to see some joy out of this young man when he climbs out of this race car and kind of realizes what he's done, picking up the win here in the Richie Evans 100. No small feat. You're going to add his name to a very distinguished list of race winners.
Ronnie Williams climbing out, celebrating victory in the Richie Evans 100.
Ronnie Williams, always calm, cool, and collected. But he and his crew chief celebrate their first World Series win. This is something that, Ronnie, you told me today. It would be a disappointing Speed Weeks if you didn't get a win. You got it done. How does it feel inside that heart right now?
Yeah, it feels good. Again, we had the whole thing that happened yesterday, and things happen for a reason. I'm a big believer of that. So That's why we keep coming back, and that's why we love this sport, right? So, yeah, it's awesome. Car was good at the beginning, just buying our time, following Emmerling through. I knew he'd probably be a good one to judge off of how much we could use our stuff, and then Am just went to work on the pit stop, made this thing better, so I can drive it. And yeah, I mean, going to the last 4 laps, I was hoping there wasn't going to be another caution. I'm like, just get through this minute here, but yeah, can't thank these guys enough for all they do. It's, again, I can't be here without them. So, and also my wife back at home with our little girl. I appreciate you having our son come down, and it is cool. I don't know where he is. He's here somewhere, but for him to be here, my 50th modified win, which I also think is pretty cool. To get that 50 here at the World Series with the Richie Evans Memorial, it's an awesome feeling.
This is doubly as nice because not only do you get your first World Series Tour Type Modified win, but the championship as well. How sweet is that combination to do it on the final night and get home to New England?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I don't think you can really be good. You can't be good at doing 2 things at once, but I guess this is one of those times where you can. So, yeah, I'm happy. Got the win. Yeah, that's out of the way. Got the championship, that's out of the way, but just keep coming back here, and looking forward to next year, and also just what we can do through the Tri-Track Series and little stuff we're going to do on the tour this year.
Impressive run for this guy, Ronnie Williams. His 50th career win comes in his first victory ever during the World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing, and it comes with a family celebration here in Victory Lane. It is a good night to be part of this team here as they will celebrate this one for a long time.
Yeah, that's a way to get your first win. You do it in one of the biggest races of the week. Claim the championship while you're at it. And so good this week. Couple of the top qualifying efforts, which he's been always fast in qualifying over the last handful of years and making the trips to the World Series. And Ronnie Williams gets it done tonight, the win in the championship.